Okay, I hope we're back and everybody's still here. Um, if you're here, please chime in and let me know that you're here. I don't know what happened. My PC completely froze up. When I did the hard reboot, it did take a little bit to boot up, and it came back up with a finish repairing Z drive, which is weird because my Z drive is one, it's a spinning disk, but it's just um it is just like bulk storage. So I don't know what was going on with that as to why it decided to throw an error, but I'm going to have to get that fixed somehow. And I hope I didn't just screw myself up by trying to check on it. But yeah, like I said, I hope everybody's still here. If not, I hope you get the notification that I'm streaming again and can jump back on here. Like I said, I don't know what's going on with my PC right now. Uh, there were some Windows updates lately. Um, so I'll try and get stream stuff set back up. Adobe. Try and get things set back up so that we can keep going again. Okay. So I think I'm back up. Hey, RC Max. I see you moving, but I'm muted right now because you're on a call. Okay, cool. Thanks, RC. RC Maniac. Okay. So let's see if I can't bring you guys in here. A little bit. So we've got our end stop installed. We've got this side is completed. This side we have one bearing stack done. Remember, each bearing stack is a shim, bearing, shim. So when you do the second bearing stack, you got to start with another shim. And actually, I didn't get a shim on that one before I noticed we're frozen. So there's the shim to finish that bearing stack. Another shim to start the next one. Flange bearing down against that shim. Flange bearing up. And then finally another shim. Now that completes our bearing stacks over on this side. Next step, now before you knock it over and have to rebuild the bearing stacks approximately 7 times, we're going to secure them in place with the A drive lower piece. If using screws, you'll need to carefully screw them into the highlighted holes, which is what we are doing. So what we're going to be doing, this one has the depression, which means we're going to need one of these that has the corresponding keyed feature. So this would be the lower, and this would be the spot for the end stop. So we're going to highlight, or we're going to line this up. It is not lined up. Line this up, which luckily is not going to line up because that is a, yay, that is a hole the entire way through, or not a hole, but a words on stream sometimes. Oh, awesome. I just saw an issue that I'm going to have, so let me take that off. We'll find that one shim that I just tossed overboard, put that back in place. I'm going to have to cut that zip tie. Yeah, it's a slow day, Diesel. Slow day. I was a little bored. So I decided why not stream, right? I mean, that's what we do on slow days, is we stream. And then my PC just froze up and complained about one of my drives, which is not a primary drive by any means. So now I'm concerned as to whether or not, if my drives are going to be dying a quick death here soon. So this screw, back off somewhat. Come on, work with me. Back out. Thank you. I'm trying not to drop any bearings or whatchamacallits, spacers as I flip this over. And I'm going to try and get this one going into the plastic a little bit. Come back over here and get this one going, because this one's going to be the long one. And triple check to make sure that the bearing stacks are still in place. And we're going into plastic here, so just snug it until you feel the change in tension, right? We're not trying to crank down on these. Not too many. These screws, as it says, are only screwing into the plastic of the printed part. They're not structural, so no need to overdo it. Don't go back for that last little nip. You will break it. And the reason I had to cut my zip tie out is I just realized that that zip tie goes all the way up and through. So now I've got to figure out how I'm going to get back in there and zip tie this sucker down. Especially with those small, tiny zip ties I was using. Where did I put those small, tiny zip ties? Ay, 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 ay. No, not those. I don't think these will fit. So what's going on, Diesel? Did you get your stuff done? Did you get your stuff done? Yeah, these aren't going to fit. Seriously, gang, what did I do with the other? Oh, there they are. These are the only other zip ties that might, in any way, shape, or form, work. I'm going to grab this and, whoop, not that. Grab the camera. No, not the camera, the small app. There we go. Get that over there. There we go. Now, can I get one of these in there and have enough room and fiddliness to... So who the hell would ever be able to get a zip tie in here? Well, maybe. Pretty bad when I'm using forceps to get a zip tie pulled through. And no comments from the peanut gallery there. And this, my friends, is the ultimate downside to working on a small printer is the small areas that you have to work in when you're dealing with a small printer and having big hands, big fingers type of thing. Okay, so is that going to be out of the way? Because we did it the other direction the last time. It should be still out of the way. Hope to God. That it is. All right. So there's our first one with our flanges. We'll have our end stop wires. Yeah. So there's one motor done. We need to do the other motor, and yep, we're going to verify when we're looking at this from the back that we have that we have a double stack between here. Single under, single over and under over here. Top two line up, bottom one by itself. That's good. Now it wants me to deal with a motor. So we're going to grab a motor. These are not identified as A or B. So we're going to grab one of these and we're going to get a pulley. You know, I did not check to see if somebody had come up with a printed well, I know there's somebody that has a printed we'll say like a multi-tool for identifying like your pulleys and stuff like that, like you do on a boron. But we'll be fine. We'll go this route. We'll just have to actually let me do these one at a time. We're gonna Loctite these. So what's up, Diesel? How's your afternoon going? Hopefully pretty chill. So I don't have any type of printed jig for aligning these. So what I'm going to do is just get my flat here, and I'm going to go ahead and put this on, and I will get my flat started. Just to bring it snug into contact with the like there. Now we'll grab the measuring tool. Head bang in wall. Why are you banging your head into the wall? I mean, I know you've got a teenage daughter, but okay, so we're going to turn this on, zero it out, and we're looking for 13.8 millimeters. That is not 13.8. You know what? 13.79 is close enough. So we're going to use that and our depth gauge, and it's going from the face of the motor, not that little step up. So I'm going to go from the face of the motor, and dude, that is freaking spot on right there. I'm going to tighten that down on the flat. I'm going to double check to make sure that it didn't move. And that should be perfect. Tighten down that other side. Wipe some of the excess Loctite off of it. There we go. Put that aside for now. Now this motor is going to mount onto, or this part is going to mount on our motor. It shows the wires going to the right, and yep. So this is going to lay down here, and the side over here that has the graded piece, that is the the belt clamps for the Z, and this longer edge is going to be the where the extrusion is coming out going to the other motor. So this is our left side motor. We're going to set this up. We're going to use an M3x6 in this front hole, and then we'll come back and do the others. M3x6 button head. Because we are going to do the double shear mod. Or mod, yeah, the dual shear goodness. I'm going to take this and kind of get it dropped in there. Okay, that's working. Our wires are coming out to the right. Same thing with our end stop wires. Okay, and now we're going to have another piece that pops on the top here, and we're going to put in a, which one do I need? Okay, we're going to do this one where the lip is facing down. That lip is a hexagon shape, so it's going to match up with this. Or it should. Use the right one. It lines up just like that. And we're going to do M3 by 35 socket head cap screws. 25s. Didn't see 35s. Socket heads though, so yeah, they'll be in here. Hey Waters, how's it going? Welcome in. Micron, it's going slow. We started off and we did some we did some heat set inserts to start the day and got the rest of those installed, and now we are installing motor stuff. Well, we're creating a motor. How goes things with you? Just got home from the mall. Wife wanted to go to Barnes and Noble. Well, I mean, that's a decent reason to go to the mall. That is a decent reason to go to the mall. Okay, so here we go. Now we're going to need an F695 bearing, which is decidedly not those and not these. I don't think there were any in the kit that or added to the kit that I can see. So we'll double check. If I find them, great. If not, I've got some. I've got some, and I'm not afraid to use them. Yes, belt loop, 625 RS bearings, which is not what we need. We need 695 bearings. All right, no worries. I've got some. I just need to got some in my Rift stuff, so thrust bearings, got some of those bearings, got pulleys, belt. And no, I've got 695 bearings. Did I not stick them in here because there's 625 RS bearings? Nope. They're not there, then maybe I put them into the Nebula kit. Regardless, I know I have them. I knows I have some. which drawer they're in is a completely different issue, though. All right. Must be Diesel's fault. Did you come and move things on me, Diesel? Did you come and move things on me? Like, seriously, I know I have a box that said Nebula on it. Where's the Nebula stuff at? That was there. I mean, the Nebula is right here. There it is. Oy. Told you I had some 695 bearings. And that should sit right down in there. Especially if you put it in there straight up and down. And for whatever reason, it is not. So, one, let's close this up and get it out of the way. Take this top back off so we can fish that bearing back out, and we will square that away appropriately. Is being a teenager? Well, she is, so I mean that makes sense. Yes, being in is a happy place. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I have a feeling this is just a slight clearance issue, so I'm going to do a quick deburr. Why are you still going in at an angle? Hopefully, me talking to myself does not scare anybody off. Crabtree. Oh, yeah, there's one at Crabtree next to the Best Buy Old Navy on the 440 side. Huh. Okay. You need a vacation to a cabin, middle of nowhere, lots of trees, and your laptop. Well, don't take your laptop. Okay, so we got that in there. The F695 bearings in there decently. And there's this little top piece that goes down in and twists and should lock the whatchamacallit in place. And one side's getting down in there, the other side's still not getting down in there. I may have to relieve a small portion of the printed part with a file. Not a lot, but just enough. Hey Pete, how's it going? Hey Lincoln Stern. A decent hotel with a hot tub in the room. Okay. That works too. This side. This could be a tolerance issue of either my print or the bearing itself. Just trying to relieve just a little squish more of that print. One of those things where it has to be like perfectly put in place. And once you start to get it off just a little bit, it just does not like life. Okay, I think that is close. Hotel is too close to other people. I mean, a cabin can be too. Okay, now this piece sits down on top and turns and kind of locks that thing in. It's got to turn 90 degrees and it's still don't worry, I'm going on the edge of the flange. Well, that completely rocked it out. Okay, we're going to set that aside for the time being so I don't get too annoyed with it and wind up breaking something. We're going to need the other side. So the other side, that's the bottom, that's the top. So this will be the top. We're going to need, I'm going to scroll back up and we're basically going to do it in reverse. We've got M3 by 25 button head screws. This is quasi-reverse because the instructions abruptly end. We are at this point where the instructions end and we're going to be on our own. Okay, and going like this, we'll see this is the shorter side, this is the longer side. This means we've got two bearing stacks over here. So we're going to start with a shim, flange down, flange up, and another shim. And we'll need another shim on top of that. We'll need a shim over on that side. We'll need flanges down. Yes. Flanges up. And a shim. And there we go for our next bearing stack. Hey Chewy, how's it going? And I'm going to go ahead and put some of these shim washers up because we won't need them. Well, we will need some more, but I'm going to try and not dump these all over the place. Because Diesel will come over and lurk around the Dragon Den, but he's not going to pick things up off the floor. So Pete, leak and stern, Chewy. Do I go bird hunting as well? I have in the past. Finders keepers. Hey, if you want shims, then sure, why not? Okay, so we've got the M3 by 25s. We've got our bearing stacks in place. Now we're going to complete our sandwich by setting this right on top. And as we're holding this together, we're going to roll this over so we can hopefully keep our bearing stacks in place and not lose anything as we try and get these started. Okay, before I squish that all the way down, I want to look. And this is another reason why I wanted to clean up. I've got a washer here. This right-hand side, I did lose the shim off that stack. I'm going to have to pull that one out, see if I can rotate a little bit. Drop that back on there. Rotate it back in line. Get it started again. Nothing fell out of the stack. Before I squish it all down, make sure that it is still in there. It is. So now we can go ahead and once again, we're tightening into plastic. So we're going until it tells us it's done. right? And by that, we're using light hand pressure here. So when we hit the end, we can feel that change in pressure and we're done. No need to ugga-dugga these at all. Okay? Awesome. Have you ever done chuckered? No. I mean, I would pretty much add anything possible. Okay, so this is the flat side, and I can tell by the way my everything's mounting that this is going to go like this, right? Because this is the left side, this is going to be the right side, how everything's going to match up. No, this is the right side. Is that right? Which way is this? No, it goes that way. Left, right. All right, now I'm confused. I'm confused. Fusion. That's the way it showed it. I'm getting confused. Thought the bearing stacks were in the back. Open. Open sesame. We're going to come over here to full display. And we're looking for the, I don't think it really matters, that's sub-assemblies. Let's come back here to CAD. 180R1. Nope, let's not do that. You're the confused one in the team now that we're in trouble. What? How are we in trouble? Who are we in trouble? I'm not in trouble that I'm aware of. And if I somehow got in trouble, it's got to be your fault. And we're waiting. And we're waiting. Fusion's working. I'm confused now. Okay. Here's what we're building. Let's hide the panels. Bada bing, bada boom. Let's come in here a little bit. Yeah, so okay. So it's going like that. There we go. So this is the right-hand side, but yeah, I'm thinking this was, yeah. Don't mind me. But this is the right-hand side, goes like this. There's our clicker for the Y. So this will go over here. This side is going to get a motor on it and go like that. Okay. So let me, here, here, here. No, corner. Thank you. Here we go. This is what we're looking at right now. We've got that. We've got our, yep, our rollers are in the right place. Motor comes up from underneath. That goes there. Now I have zero idea right now how that motor or the pulley and stuff's going to go on here, other than the fact it is lining up with the lower set of pulleys here. So the pulley that goes on here goes on upside down. Loctite on here. And like I said, the issue I'm going to have is I don't know how high or low to make this. So for now, I'm just going to get this started on here. And we'll work on aligning it once we get it mounted on the part. So the belts, the wires are going through the side there. No, through. Oh, God, I'm going to have. Yes, that is right. That is right. It goes that way. So what I'm going to do is I need to make sure that this pulley is lined up with the idlers. And that looks perfect. Give us some ugga-duggas there. I'll set this back in place, and I'm looking to make the tooth pulley line up with the lower pulleys, so that looks pretty in line to me. So we're good there. Same thing, we'll do an M3x6 in this front corner. M3x6 button head. Okay. This is the right side, this is the left side. Okay. There we go. Now we need the other printed part, which is right here. We'll clean up that edge a little bit. Grab a 695 bearing to put in there. I'm going to have to buy some more 695 bearings. I think I see what the issue is with this. What is the .13 millimeters? The biggest one I have is a 12. Seriously? Of course. So I think that's my issue is this is not 13 millimeters, which is why this is having such a hard time getting. Yeah, it's like 12/8. So I don't know if that's an issue with my bearings or what, but I need to hit this with a 13 millimeter. I guess I'm gonna have to use a drill since I don't have a um, whatchamacallit, a reamer, a 13 millimeter reamer. Actually, I don't even think I've got. That's a 10 millimeter drill. So I don't even have a 13 millimeter drill. Well, let's do it the old fashioned way. Deburr until it fits. Ten's the largest. Ten's the largest what? Ten's the largest reamer. Okay. All right. We'll leave it the way it is for now, and I will reprint these parts partly because I just broke one of the parts, or at least we'll just say we de minimised the print. So we'll reprint that. I'll put standard, well actually I'll put this in there for now without the lock. Yeah, there's something wonky in that print. But I know it's going to take the 35s to go through here, and I think it would be 30s if I did from the looks of it. So I'm just going to stick these in here for now. I will work on these prints after the fact because I should be able to add them in regardless. Hey Liz, how's it going? Welcome in. Yeah, 12 is the largest that I have. So, do I still have coffee? No, I do not have coffee, but I have Black Rifle Energy. My stomach was telling me no more coffee earlier. So, for whatever reason, I actually decided to listen. It's weird. Okay. So let's put that stuff there. We've got those two pieces done. Still working on those prints and the bearings. So I will put those away for now. Like I said, I'll just rework on those prints. I might just size those up a little bit and put a different, like a blocker in it when I print it. We'll get that figured out. Okay. Where are we at now? We've got those done. Now the rest of the stuff that we don't have in place is, well, the manual just abruptly ends, right? So we have no more instructions for the rest of this stuff. So we're going to be going by CAD alone. So what we can do, we can start with our extrusion here. We're going to need 4 nuts, top and bottom. Let me get that put out of the way. And I'm just going to go ahead and use standard M3 hex nuts. They'll be easy enough to push around. I don't have any more of the no nuts printed in a color that matches this scene. I mean, I could print some, I guess, but we'll just say I've been lazy. Okay, so we've got 4 in there, 2 on each side. Slide that in there. And where am I going to bring this one to? We're going to slide this one in here, being careful of our wires. And I pushed it all the way to the ends. I'm going to go ahead and work on getting my screws, my nuts lined up so we can get some screws in here. We'll look at the CAD in a second, but I believe we're going to be using M3 by 8 socket head screws. And there, turn around, turn around. Okay, and yes, M3 by 8 button head screws, yes. That'll be the big bag of stuff that we have here. Hey, 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 Petty, how's it going? Welcome in. Hey, Sigarecki, how's it going? Hope you're doing well today, Liz. I saw that you were streaming earlier, so I'm assuming that you're done streaming now. Um, trying to track. Got to clear off to get ready for a Trident build. Okay. Tridents are fun. Tridents are fun. Hey, Ash, welcome on in. Thank you for the raid of 8. Okay, so I've got the top done. Now I need to do the bottom, and we have to be very careful when we're rotating this over so that we don't lose the 4 nuts on the bottom. We can deal with having to space them back out, but if we lose them, we'll be taking things off and starting all over again. I've got 1, 2, 3, and I may have lost one. I'm only seeing 3. Let me put that in there as a stopgap. Okay, there we go. There's 4. Awesome. So we'll slide this one down as far as we can. Move it over. Come on. Might be partnering with Cisco. Nice, Petty. Let me know. And good luck. Yeah. Hey, Retro Maker TV, how's it going? Welcome in. Long time no see. Just getting back to Twitch. Kind of took a break. I feel you there. Feel you there. Galaxy Black and forgot the name, but it's a bright green. Okay, that's cool. Okay, so we've got our center bar joined together. This will be the rear of our gantry. Now I get to try and remember the good old setup for our Z drives. So we're going to have belt panels on. Let me actually see, is there a... I don't think there was an older thing. So what we'll do is I'll jump over to a Voron 2.4 manual because like I said, this... Wait, I thought that finished. Did I... Okay, so I'm apparently an idiot. Don't worry. Let's go build some XY joints. And I thought the manual was done with, but apparently I'm just the idiot. Let's get this back over here. Hey, K2 Kevin, how's it going? Yeah, take your vitamins. 3D Printopia is soon enough. Yes, thanks. That's great. Appreciate the reminder. It's 50. Is it 50 something days still, or are we down into the 40s yet? All right, we're gonna come back over here and start working with these parts. We're gonna start with the left side. And after we identify which one of these is the left side. Left side will be the one that has the keyed depressions in it. So that's the left side. The right side will be the side that has the other keys. So that'll go over there. So we've got left side set up like that. Right side set up like that. And is this showing? Pins or screws, tough call. It's usually dictated by hardware you have on hand. This time the XY joints, we won't baffle you with the M3 by 25 pin or M3 by 25 button head cap screw. We're going to use the M3 by 25 button head cap screws. We'll need 2 for each side. If you're not pulling parts this morning out of departure, you're failed. Yeah, trust me, he does it often too. One there and one there. And this side is one there and one there. No. There and there. Let me fix this and put it in the right spot. There we go. now we've got these two in the right orientation and the right things. So we're going to need all standard pulleys. Do we have? Yeah, all standard pulleys. We'll do a bearing stack on one side, and then we need toothed idlers on the other. And I don't remember seeing toothed idlers in here. So let me go through this again. No tooth idlers. I have no idea what's in this mystery bundle wrap. Magnets. Gotcha. That bundle's magnets. So not there. And I pulled this out numerous times and did not remember seeing any tooth idlers. Big bearings, belts, shafts for Z drives. Piezo, fans, more fans, GBB. Yeah, I have no tooth idlers. So either I will grab some of my own or something. Let me see. So we will go through and do the flange bearings for the one stack, and then I'll see if I can find the tooth idlers that I have. Okay, so it's on the raised portion in the back that we do a tooth or a flange pulley setup over here, like that. On this side, it's in the open gap, so right there. Now we need these tooth idlers. And it's weird that there's no tooth idlers in this package. I'm going to see if I've got any that I can throw at this. That answer so far is no. All right, we're going to have to do some digging. I'm pretty sure there was no other motion system stuff in this box. SRR, can, that. This was the motors. Power inlet, some other wires. So not in here. Leviathan, lights, cables, PTFE, more cables, more PTFE, drag chain, belts, the wristwatch extruder. Well, this might lead to a quick end if I don't have the required 3mm idler stuff. Because that will, without those 3mm inside diameter tooth idlers, we're going to be stuck. So let me look again through here, going very, very slowly. You guys can look with me. These are all the LDO nuts and some lights. 5. Full head. This is stuff for the doors, which I think we're going to shift away from now. Flanges, no. Full head. Bearing pieces for the Z drives, which were not used. Stuff for the piezo sensor. Fans, and more fans. Hey, Thunder Keys, how's it going? Magnets, camera, M4, bits and bobs, M2 and Wagos, M3s, some more M2 stuff, old standoffs, pin stops, JSTs. Yeah, I have no 3mm inside diameter tooth pulleys as called out for in the manual here. The fusion file for the XY, what is it showing? Yeah, it is showing toothed GT2 16 tooth idlers. Let me, I might have some over here. It's apparently definitely not something I would normally have. A 3 mm smooth bore. And 16 tooth 3 mm. How about them apples? Here we go. Some 3 mm 16 tooth. That's what we were looking for. One there, one there. Okay, and the left side will be this one that has the raised keyed parts. Let me bring you guys back in here some. Sorry about that. So left side over here, raised keyed parts. So off. There and there. Good gracious. And once again, these are going to screw into plastic. How's it going, Thunder Keys? Hope you're doing good, my friend. We are trying to work our way through the Micron build for Zura. Trying to make sure that everything keyed in well and everything's still moving. Same thing over here now, finding the way that everything mounts on there. Oh, dang it. Go through there. That. flange, flange, that goes through this side, that. Now let's see about holding it sideways as we line this stuff up and make it go in. The hell? Oh, there and there. And it's kind of a jiggle jangle here because we're trying to go into printed parts. You going for another walk, Pez Liz? Okay. Enjoy it. Now you got to be careful with this one, with the tooth idler, because there is some room. It can walk around a bit. But if you tighten this one down too much first, it's going to pull these parts apart back here. So you need to just kind of bring it in until it's just touching the top. And we'll be good there. And this is what I'm talking about with these being able to walk around. But you want these snug, but still rotating. So left, and right. What the hell? Flip them over and then do into the other two holes. Gotcha. Ay, ay, ay. So now we need M3 by 35 socket head screws. Ah. No worries, Waters, and I will. I'll go in tomorrow. I'll go in tomorrow. And these two are going to go into the threaded inserts that we put in earlier, and that's going to stiffen everything up. Hey, Martin, how's it going? I think you might have just missed Liz. I think she just left. Yeah, we're not going to do word search. Hey, look, we can put our Z drives on. They're already on. Z drives, whoops, are already on. Now we get to do our Z belts. So we've got our stuff for our gantry done. And this is the issue. So we are at page 92 of 92. So there is no more manual after this, which is telling us to start putting our belts in place. It wants us to route the belts down and through, and this is where we're probably going to have to start pulling up like a 2.4, the actual 2.4 manual, because that's going to basically walk us through building out our gantry and stack and stuff, because this is where we end. Potentially we could look at if there's an older version of the manual, meaning going to the GitHub, and if there's an older version of the Micron manual in the R0 here, we might be able to pull that up. Yeah, Micron manual and then work in progress. Last year, 2 years ago was there. Yeah, don't know. I mean, we'd be able to read between the lines potentially. Between this and CAD, just looking at order of operations. That is an option. I mean, there's 103 pages to this one. Z drives, flippy dippy, idlers. Yeah, we still need to build the idlers. It hasn't told us to do that yet. So let's, yeah. So we've got, we'll say order of operations from the other manual. So let's look here. We know we're going to need the top idlers, and then we'll need to start working on the Z screws or the Z belts. So let's take a look at our idler setups. Actually, frame, hide. There's our floating idler. M3x20s, and I'm not showing you guys what I'm doing. So we've got our idler brackets up here. These are M3x20s, and looks like we've got some M3x30s coming up. Kind of seems a little weird. That there is not like a heat set insert or something there for that screw to go into. So that is just going into oofda. Darn it. That looks like it would just be going into plastic. So I'm not seeing a heat set at that side or the bottom side. Ah! It's going into nuts. There we go. So here's our idler pieces. And are these going into bearing stacks? More tooth idlers. GT2 16 tooth idlers that I do not have. Crap. All right, so I just hit a stopping point because I can't really do this, and if I can't get the idlers set up, then I can't do um, the belts. Without the belts, there's not much more I can do unless I want to go and just put, I don't know, skirts and stuff on. Yeah, and I'm gonna have to figure out some GT2 16 tooth idlers uh, on M3s. So yeah, we're we just reached stuck. Is kind of where I'm at here. I could. What's in our beefy idlers? Is that a bearing stack? That should be a bearing stack because that's bearing stack. M3 by 12 with a bearing stack. So we can put together some beefy idlers. So M3 by 12 socket head cap screws. Right? An M3 by 12 button head, but that looks like a socket head. And that is a socket head spot there. So we'll grab some M3 by 12. Not like I don't have a ton of those. And we'll switch around here so you can see what I'm doing as I go to build these out. We'll need our flange bearings. Taco Mondays. Oh, we can do tacos. We can do tacos. That sounds like I'll pop in and ask you a butt ton of questions on how to flash the Neptune Max. Hey, DJ Nightwolf, or Midnight Wolf, how's it going? Okay, so the way this is going to work is we're going to put in a washer, flange bearing, and another washer. And this whole stack is going to sit right down in here. Just like that. So washer, bearing, washer. And once everything's set right, we're going to push that fully down in there. Just like that. So we're going to do that twice. And then these will be the, this will be our bearing stack for our beefy front idlers. Whoops. Yeah. Just make sure that your washer gets in between the printed part and the bearings. Shove those down in there. Now these go into your beefy idler, and they go in with such a way that you've got these extended keyed joints. So that's going to go on the outside edge, or actually the inside edge, which, yeah, that was right. The inside edge here. And we're going to push it all the way in there. So that's going to give us the biggest ability to do tensioning. Now we're going to have our cute little Micron front pieces. It's going to go right over the top there, and we're going to drive our screws in, and these are M3 by 25, and these do have heat sets in the back, so we want them to go at least down into those M3 by 25 button heads. You already flashed the Neptune once, and as Diesel said, so you broke it? And it might be down in there too far now with the 25 millimeter screws, so push it out some. And all I want to do is I'm going to bring these screws down. I'm going to say so they're, I mean, you can go fully engaged in the heat sets or not. I'm going to say I want them fully engaged at the base of the heat set. I guess let me pull this out and I'll show you what I'm going to do. So I'm going to tighten each of these until I'm fully engaged to the base of the heat set. Right, just to there. And what that's going to do is give me a good starting point to make sure that all four, top, bottom, both sides, are at the same point when I go to start tensioning these after I run them. So those screws are all the way to the back. Some people will just start them with one or two threads. The problem with that is you now have zero ability of knowing whether or not your screws are now at the same depth for tensioning or not. And then we'll just pull that in there the whole way, and that's going to be one side tensioner. This will be the left side. Right side we'll do the same way. We'll get our screws in there. We'll tighten it up on the tensioner outside of the beefy idler. I'm going to do this down on the table, and I should be able to feel when I hit the table. If I can show you. Okay. And there we go with those two right at the end. Focus. So now we'll take this one. Once again, we want to put it in so that it's in the right direction. We'll make this go in the right direction, and you'll see that my Micron symbol is now upside down, so I need to swap these around. Oh, gotta love it. So we'll go and do that all over again. Okay, so there's the other one. So right side, left side. Can't do these because we need our tooth idlers. We do want tooth idlers around the belts. We do not want to do whatchamacallit, non-tooth idlers around these belt paths. It will lead to issues. We can go ahead. Well, I was going to say we can go ahead and mount these. Oh, wait, we're going to have to put belts on. And I need to figure out what our belt lengths are and all that good stuff as well. Okay. Here we go. This was a impromptu stream. I think we are going to go ahead and call it quits here. I'm going to do a little bit of research, figure out my belts, figure out if I need to get some tooth idlers. I may go and even redo the tooth idlers here, maybe get some slightly better ones than this, or figure out if I'm going to need to shim these one way or the other. And yeah, we will definitely be back Tuesday night. I most likely will not stream tomorrow night, just because I kind of streamed tonight because I was bored, honestly. So thank you everybody for being here. Sorry for having an issue earlier. I have zero idea what happened as to why my computer froze up. But thanks everybody for coming out and hanging out. And I will see you guys the next go around, Tuesday night. All right. Thanks everybody. Have a great night. Bye now.